A visitor to a small country town noticed an old man playing chess. On closer inspection, he saw that a dog was sitting opposite the old man and the dog was moving the chess pieces. The visitor asked the old man if the dog was playing chess and he replied, "Yes." "That must be one extremely intelligent dog," said the visitor. "Not really," said the old man. "I win more games than he does." Bill happened by his neighbor's house one day. He saw his friend Farmer John in the apple orchard holding his favorite prize pig. John would patiently hold Snooks up so she could munch an apple right off the twig, then move on the next apple and the next. "Hello, John," says Bill. "Not to interfere with your pastime, but why don't you pick Snooks a bucket from apples? It would save time." "Aye, yeah, Bill. It would, but then what's time to the pig?" A man was going to bed one night when there was a knock at the door. He answered and there stood a giant ant that punched him in his eye. Now he made up an excuse when his friends asked him, because he thought he couldn't say he had been punched by an ant. So he said he had had a punch up in the pub. Anyway, the next night the same happened again, but this time he got beaten up really bad. So he went to the hospital and told the doctor everything that had happened, and the doctor said, yes, there is a nasty bug going round." The man left for a vacation to Jamaica. His wife was on a business trip and was planning to meet him there the next day. When he reached his hotel, he decided to send his wife a quick email. Unable to find the scrap of paper on which he had written her email address, he did his best to type it in from memory. Unfortunately, he missed one letter and his note was directed instead to an elderly preacher's wife whose husband has passed away only the day before. When the grieving widow checked her email, she took one look at the monitor, let out a piercing scream and fell to the floor dead. At the sound, her family rushed into the room and saw this note on screen. "Dearest wife, just got checked in. Everything prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Your loving husband. P.S. Sure is hot down here." Two kids were talking in the playground. The first kid says, "My mom is from Ireland and my dad is from America. That makes me an Irish American." The second kid says, "Well, my mom is from Iceland and my dad is from Cuba. So I guess that makes me an ice cube." John and Tracy were in a very push restaurant. John asked for the menu. He brought the menu to them but stated, "I'm not a waiter. My name is Hans and I wash the dishes for Yo's face." The Russian chef. A few minutes later, Hans came back and said, "I can't find Yo's face or the waiter, but I will take your order." They had decided to have squid. Hans went to get the tank. John chose the squid and Hans removed it from the tank and rushed it to the kitchen. Hans returned. "I cannot kill that squid, as it has lots of little hairs around its mouth. I can't kill that." John insisted that he was going to have the squid. "Okay," said Hans. "I will find Yo's face and get him to do it. He will kill anything." 5 minutes later, Yo's face came over to the table and says, "I can't kill that squid. It has lots of hairs around its mouth." John asked, "What does this mean?" The waiter appeared and said, "This means Hans that do dishes can be soft at Yo's face with mild green hairy-lipped squid." Two ladies was walking in the woods when they saw a raccoon. on top of a tree stump. The first lady asked, "What do you think?" "Do you think it's rabbit?" The second lady answered, "No, raccoon." Priest conducts a service in a church. The person who puts the most in the church collection box can choose 3 hymens. He says the collection box comes back to him after being filled up, and he finds that someone has donated £1,000. "Who has donated £1,000? He asks. A woman raises her hand. The priest invites her to the front and tells her to choose 3 hymens. Pointing at the 3 most handsome men in the church, she says, "I'll have him, him, and him." An insurance assessor is at a wedding reception and asks the bride, "So, this is your 4th husband?" "Yes, that's right," she replied. "Can I ask what happened to your first husband?" "Oh, very sad. He died quite suddenly." "Oh, I am sorry. What happened?" "He unfortunately ate some poisoned mushrooms and passed away." The insurance paid out, of course, but it can never really compensate. "That's terrible. What happened to the second husband?" Another tragic case. He too ate some poisoned mushrooms and passed away. The money didn't compensate for his loss. By now, the assessor was very suspicious and asked, "Did your third husband die from ingesting poisoned mushrooms too?" "Oh no," she stated. "He died from a fractured skull." "My word, I am very sorry. How did he get that?" The woman said, "Well, he wouldn't eat the mushrooms." A man and wife were eating in a very exclusive restaurant when a gorgeous woman came up to the table, put her arm around the man and gave him a kiss, and said, "I'll see you later." The wife said, "Who is that?" To which he replied, "That's my mistress." The wife then said, "I want a divorce because that is just too much." He replied that it was up to her, but pointed out that there would no longer be a Lexus in the garage, shopping in Paris, or skiing in Gstaad. Just then, one of their friends came into the restaurant with a gorgeous woman on his arm. The wife asked, "Who's that with Bob?" And her husband replied, "Oh, that's his mistress." The wife looked again and said, "Ours is prettier."